Moby Dick, Part 2, Ahab's Obsession. The Pequod sailed farther and farther from the world of men, plunging into the endless wilderness of the oceans. To some, it was a whaling voyage like any other. Hunt the leviathans, strip their blubber, boil it into oil, and return home rich. But under Ahab's command, it became something stranger, an odyssey into madness. Day after day, Ahab strode the deck, his whalebone leg thumping like a drumbeat of doom. He scarcely slept. He seldom spoke of anything but the white whale. He would seize the quadrant, the charts, the compass, and trace imaginary paths through the oceans. Every breeze, every current, every gull overhead became to him a sign pointing to Moby Dick's trail. To the crew, Ahab was both master and spellcaster. When he spoke, even the roughest harpooner fell silent, as if listening to a prophet. He burned with such intensity that men found themselves caught in his fire. They grumbled of madness, yes, but they also followed him with a loyalty born of fear and fascination. Only Starbuck resisted in spirit, though he lacked the strength to break away. Often he stood gazing at Ahab's cabin door, hand trembling on his musket, torn between duty and conscience. "Madness leads us to ruin," he whispered. Yet he could not pull the trigger. The sea itself seemed to mirror Ahab's obsession. Whales were sighted and hunted, their bodies cut and boiled in the great try-works. Black smoke pouring into the sky. But even amid the toil, Ahab's voice rang out, "Hast seen the white whale?" Whenever they hailed another ship, this was his first cry. To captains who had not, he turned away coldly. To those who had, his eyes flared with fever. One vessel brought news of disaster, a sailor torn to pieces, a ship shattered. Each tale of the white whale's ferocity only sharpened Ahab's hunger. Yet the ocean was not only blood and toil, it was mystery. At night, the sky blazed with stars, and the men, weary and raw, would murmur of home. Once, lightning struck the masts, wrapping the ship in blue fire. The crew trembled, thinking the heavens cursed them. But Ahab, arms outstretched, welcomed the storm. "See how the gods anoint me!" he cried, standing in the crackling glow like a titan forged in lightning. His men, awestruck, swore themselves to his cause, as if bound by a spell of fire. Ishmael, silent observer, saw deeper. He pondered man's place in the universe, the vastness of creation, the futility of rage against forces beyond comprehension. To him, Moby Dick was more than whale or beast. He was mystery itself, the ungraspable truth, the inscrutable face of God, or devil. And Ahab, raging against him, was mankind incarnate, shaking his fist at the heavens. Pequod, Ishmael's brother-in-arms, too, was touched by fate. At one point he fell deathly ill and even had a coffin built for himself. Yet he recovered. The coffin left aboard as a grim reminder that death sailed with them. Fate, it seemed, had carved its mark on every plank of the Pequod. The months turned to seasons. The Pequod roamed seas no chart could tame, the Cape of Good Hope, the Indian Ocean, the Pacific vast as eternity. Always Ahab pressed onward, ignoring whales worth fortunes, driving the crew harder and farther. Gold no longer mattered, only vengeance gleamed in his eyes. At last, they met the Rachel, a ship whose captain wept for his lost son, dragged away by Moby Dick. "Help us search," the grieving father begged. But Ahab, though moved for a heartbeat, turned away. "I cannot spare my hunt," he said, his face carved in stone. The Pequod sailed on, leaving the Rachel to her sorrow. Even Starbuck, hardened by years at sea, whispered a prayer for the boy abandoned. Then came a strange and fateful night. Ahab, alone on deck, lifted his face to the sky. He seemed less a man and more a specter, a soul already claimed by destiny. He spoke to the stars, to his own heart, to God himself, if he was listening. "What is man," he murmured, "but a compass pointing to doom? Yet strike through the mask I must. Be it God or be it devil, I will have my revenge. His leg thumped like a tolling bell. Somewhere beneath the black waters, Moby Dick swam, vast and waiting. The crew grew restless. Some whispered mutiny, but Ahab's will crushed all. At last, even Starbuck broke. Tears streaked his weathered face as he confronted the captain. "We are men, Ahab, fathers, sons, husbands. Let us turn home while we may." But Ahab only smiled, a grim, sad smile, and placed a hand on Starbuck's shoulder. "Home? I am already home in this pursuit. Would you have me live with half a heart, leaving the white whale unchallenged? No, Starbuck, he is my fate, and yours too if you follow me." The sun rose, and the watch cried out. A whale spout on the horizon. Ahab's eyes burned brighter than the dawn. "It is he!" he thundered. "Moby Dick, the chase begins!" The sea shuddered beneath the cry. Men scrambled to their boats, hearts thundering with fear and awe. Ishmael clutched the gunwale, Pequod readied his harpoon, and Ahab, leaning on his whalebone leg, pointed toward the horizon like a general leading men to their final war. The chase had begun.